Diddy's worst nightmares are coming true. Everybody and their mama is taking a stand against Diddy now. In the beginning of this case, when he was going to trial, it was reported that there were going to be maybe 3 or 4 witnesses that the federal government was going to call. And since the trial has started, it seems like 10 or 15 witnesses have come forward. I mean, we've already seen 6 witnesses. I believe 6. We've seen Cassie come forward. We've seen a prostitute come forward before Cassie. A prostitute named the Punisher came after. That's 3. 2 of Diddy's former assistants. That's 5. Kid Cudi is now on the stand currently as we speak. And I'm going to show you guys and give you guys a live update of what he's saying right now in court because we got the live feed. That's 6. Another person is coming to testify after Kid Cudi. That's 7. Oh, I forgot Cassie's mom testified. That's 8. Originally, it was reported that there were only going to be 3 or 4 witnesses. And I want all of us as entrepreneurs, that I do entertainment news from the entrepreneur perspective here, and we do it live as we break this down. I want all of us to understand when we look at this situation, what we're looking at. And why I say that is because there's a huge learning lesson in this. Watch how you treat the people that work for you, work around you, and work with you. Because I believe that because they see chink in the armor, because they see Diddy is down and they got a chance to put him away and get their payback, all these different people that used to work for Diddy are coming forward right now. Now, I'm not saying he's innocent. I believe he's guilty of everything that they said he did, personally, just from looking at the facts of what we got in front of us. I think he did everything they said he did. I know some people are going to say, Cassie's not innocent. I don't think Cassie innocent either. I reported on this when it first broke a year ago when the lawsuits and all that started. I said from then, I don't believe Cassie is an angel. But I also know that Cassie is not on trial. Whether she took immunity, a deal for immunity or whatever, she's not on trial. Diddy is. And when I look at this situation, I see a severe mismanagement of a leadership position given to him by God. And so we're going to get into all the details of that. I think there's a huge lesson in this for all of our entrepreneurs that's watching. If you watch for that portion of the live stream, we're going to get to that in a second. We start with the entertainment news here if this is your first time watching, and then we get into how you can apply the learning lessons from these entertainment news topics to your personal life at the end of the second half of the live stream. And we're going to break this whole thing down. It's a subscriber only chat. If you're not a subscriber of the channel, you're not going to be able to be in the comment section on YouTube. If you listen, we about to put this all my live streams for all the people that's been here consistently, all my subscribers, all my followers, watchers, fans. This is going to be available as an audio format. We're about to launch the audio so you can listen on Spotify, so you can listen on all the streaming services, Apple Music and all that stuff soon. We're going to do that today. Going to have some people get on that. And you guys know the rules of the room. Just hit that like button. Keep the likes up. Keep it respectful in the chat with each other. And if you got a question or comment, send it to the super chat. We'll put it on screen and we'll respond to it. Before we start any live stream, we always start every single time the same way with a prayer. So we're going to start that way today. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you humbly, God. In the name of Jesus, we're asking that you give us all the grace and mercy and forgiveness that we need from you, Father God, even if we don't deserve it. God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for a platform that we can share information and fellowship and community with each other. God, I ask that you give everybody traveling mercy that's listening wherever they're going to and from today, God. Bless them, their loved ones, their families, their children. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Let's get started, man. So I think, like I said, this situation is a mismanagement of leadership because now you got all these different people that are coming forward to testify against Diddy, and he's getting exposed in multiple ways. And it was reported that photos of all his regular prostitutes that he will hire, like his rotation of prostitutes, they've been released to the public. So these are all the people that he will hire for the Diddy parties. And they made these allegations, or they made these pictures public, these people public. Also, they've been putting pictures out of Diddy's hotel rooms and different things like that. One of his former assistants, the guy that was assigned to clean up these parties, testified in court and said, Diddy was trafficking and different things like that. And it was his job to come and clean it up. Right? I see you guys in the chat too. Salute to all you guys in the chat. So that guy has come forward. I'm gonna show you guys what he said. Kid Cudi, fellow rapper, somebody that used to date Cassie, This is the Kid Cudi is the guy that they say Diddy blew his car up when he was dating Cassie, like he was Frank Lucas in American Gangster. I used to have a clip of that. I don't know if we got the clip of that no more.
I don't want to be one of them old people.
Nah, we don't got the clip no more. I used to have a clip of the Frank Lucas Diddy thing where we used to play that when we would talk about the Diddy blowing up Buddy's car. I was trying to see if I had it or if I could find it, because I thought it's always funny to play it. But Kid Cudi is the guy that they say, he blew up that car. And because of that, he's testifying in court. The federal government went and called him as a witness, subpoenaed him, and I'm going to show you guys what they had to say about that. These are the alleged 13 male sex workers who were presented in court. And it says their images were shown to the public. Many of these men cannot be identified. However, there are some high-profile names here, like Jonathan Adi, who's the first one that we heard publicly accuse Diddy of this stuff, and everybody thought he was crazy. But these are the images. Let me show you guys. Let me put it on full screen so you guys can see clearly. These are the people, right? Cassie's in there. These other guys. Some of these guys are unidentified, but this is the people that they putting on the stand, and these are people that the government has presented as his prostitute. He's saying, and listen, trafficking don't necessarily, this is the thing. Diddy is facing trafficking charges. And trafficking doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter if they consented to being trafficked. You cannot fly somebody, and I tell the men this all the time. If you watch me consistently, I've warned you guys about this stuff. Even if you and the woman are dating or whatever, if you fly her from New York to Miami with the intentions of, hey, for me flying you out, we all joke about that in the community, getting flued out. But if you do it with the intent to sleep with that woman can at any moment accuse you of trafficking, and you could go to jail. Saying, like, we see these stories where, guys will fly a woman out, she don't sleep with them, and they be like, well, I'm not about to fly you back, or I'm not about to do this, or I'm not about to do it now, I'm gonna just leave you here, or whatever. And it's funny, and we laugh at it, ha. But you got to be very careful, man, because this used to be pimping and pandering. That used to be the charge. You get a small charge, kind of a slap on the wrist, unless you do it a bunch of times. Then you get caught up, in California, in the Bay Area. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And even in Southern California, y'all know what I'm talking about. But now they calling it trafficking. But Diddy's situation is a little different, because he got a bunch of dudes. He flying people in. There was a woman from Hawaii. He flying people in from all over the world to do these freak offs, and he paying them thousands of dollars. So that's trafficking. I think they already got him on that. Personally, when I look at the case, I think that he can't beat that charge, really, because the people that the significance of Cassie being in this situation is her saying, yes, I'm the person that paid to traffic the people. Like her getting immunity so she don't go to jail, and saying, yes, me and Diddy was paying guys and paying women from out of state, which makes it federal, to fly in wherever we were, paying them thousands of dollars for orgy parties. That's trafficking. So I think they got him on that. Said if convicted, Diddy's facing over 20 years in prison. I think it's going to be tough for him to beat that charge specifically. So now, Kid Cudi is on the stand currently. I want to give you guys just a quick recap of what Diddy's former assistants were saying, and we're going to kind of give you the update, and then we'll get to what Kid Cudi is saying right now. So this article is from CNN, and it's saying that George Kaplan, who's the former executive assistant to Diddy, took the stand. Now, before this guy took the stand, he invoked his Fifth Amendment right, and he requested immunity, an immunity order, before he testified. And the feds felt like his testimony was significant enough to give him that. And it said that they granted the immunity order. The judge signed it, and as a result of him getting an immunity order, it requires you to testify. So now he don't have a choice. The Fifth Amendment goes out the window, right? So it says that Diddy's former assistant testified that he worked 80 to 100 hours a week, once working from 7 in the morning the next day, from the morning to 7 in the morning the next day. He said he was paid about $125,000 and communicated with Diddy daily, exchanged texts, calls, emails multiple times a day about things he needed, which could include clothing or potentially food from somewhere, or drugs or liquor, or an iPad or a speaker, whatever it was. This dude said that he testified, Kaplan, Diddy's assistant, testified that Combs threatened his job almost every single month, once getting in his face for not getting the right thing from the store. These are the things that I say come back to haunt you. This is why I say it's a lesson for all of us as entrepreneurs. Because I got employees. Some of you guys got employees. Some of you guys want to have employees one day, and you're a leader. You got a company, you got a business you're running. Pay attention to this stuff and look at it for the learning lesson that it is. You got to be careful how you treat people. It's not just the customers and the people giving you money that you got to treat right. You also got to treat the people right that work for you and work with you and work around you. So this dude says that he worked with Diddy every day. He was paid $125,000 a year, worked 80 to 100 hours a week. And he did everything that Diddy needed. He said, but his job was still almost every month threatened. Said Diddy would get in his face for not getting the right thing from the store. When Combs traveled to various destinations such as New York, Miami, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Orlando, Kaplan would either fly on Combs' private jet with him or fly in advance on a commercial flight to set up Combs' hotel room. Right? So, and these are the hotel rooms that Diddy was doing these freak offs in. Even the day he got arrested, they caught him in the whole, like the hotel. We seen the video of Diddy walking into the hotel. The feds run up on him. They raided his hotel room that day, the day he got arrested. And he had everything there. They said he had the drugs, baby oil, Astroglide, lubricant, a bunch of different stuff, like a bunch of stuff in the room, a gun in the room. And they said he was planning to have a freak off the day he got arrested. When he knew all this, when you got to think how crazy that is, how sick that is. Bro, you know that they just raided your house. At that time, Diddy came back into the country, they said, because he ran on his jet. Remember? Everybody remember that in the chat? Let me see. So at that point, you know that you in some trouble. They didn't raided all your houses, dog. Homeland Security looking for you. And you go to the hotel the same day and you about to have a freak off the same day that you... Dog, you got to think how sick that is. So, this dude was in charge of setting up Diddy's hotel rooms. Said Kaplan, his name is Kaplan. Kaplan said he was given a bag that had clothes, a speaker, candles, liquor, baby oil, and lubricant in it. Therefore, he bought the same items on his corporate card to prepare Combs' room. That's the racketeering right there. You're using your organization. This is the same thing the rapper Lil Durk is in jail for. His is a murder case, a murder for hire, but he's in jail not because he pulled the trigger or not because of anything other than the people that killed the little boy he had problems with. They used his company credit cards to buy the rental cars and to buy the flights to California to go get the boy. So this is where the federal charges come in as far as using your organization to fund crime. Because this assistant is saying that he used Diddy's corporate card to prepare the rooms for the freak offs. Kaplan said he came to understand part of his role was protecting Diddy's image. His understanding was that Diddy would have guests or female partners join him in the hotel rooms. After Combs left the hotel room, Kaplan would enter and pack up Combs' belongings and tidy the place up. Typically, there'd be sports drink bottles, liquor bottles, baby oil strewn around the hotel room after Diddy left. On one occasion, he cleaned up a brown crystallized powder off a countertop. Kaplan testified he picked up drugs for Diddy with cash that Diddy gave him. Once in Miami and once in Los Angeles. One time he picked up MDMA. And the other time he didn't know what the substance was, he testified. Right? So him testifying and saying that Diddy yes, I was the one picking up drugs for Diddy. Yes, I was using the company credit card to do it. Yes, Diddy, I was an employee of Diddy's. Right? With the Cassie testimony, we don't really, it's a 50-50. It's just depending on how you feel. You could feel like Cassie's a victim and Diddy's a monster. I think everybody agrees Diddy a monster. But I think, her testimony is not enough for him to go to jail. I think these testimonies, these employees that are coming forward, these other employees, because Cassie had a personal relationship with him. Even though she says she's an employee, her job became to organize freak offs. It's a little more damning when these other employees come forward. When they say, yeah, I used the company credit card in order to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, the hotels that we were booking, they were for freak offs. They weren't for business. Like, you can't book crime. That's like me taking one of my company, U Legend, right? That's like me taking a company credit card and going to start a drug empire. Like, I can't do that. I can't go rent a house and it become a trap house and say, well, I was renting that for business. No, dog, that's a crime. Or even if it's a brothel, I can't do that. So I think that these testimonies from the employees are a little bit different. There was another assistant that testified yesterday, but I covered it yesterday, so we're not going to get too much into it. So that's kind of an update on what that guy, what Diddy's assistant, and I think it's very telling that dude wanted immunity before he started testifying, and he asked for immunity the same day, and they gave it to him the same day, which is crazy. Like, hey, let's take a court break, give him his paperwork, all right, come back to the stand. Like, dang. So Diddy's fighting those charges. He's also fighting the trafficking charges. He's also fighting the coercion charges. Now, Kid Cudi is getting ready to take the stand, right, at this point. And Kid Cudi previously had a relationship with Cassie Ventura. And we heard testimony from Cassie's mom, right, on this. And that was reported yesterday. I came to the live and I did it for you guys yesterday. By the way, we hear live every single day, somewhere between 9 and 10 a.m. Only Saturdays I really take off. Sometimes I might do it on a Saturday if the topic is important, but I try to take that day off. So make sure you subscribe and tune in every day, because we always come with a new topic. So Kid Cudi, Grammy-winning artist, super successful artist. I was shocked to hear that he was going to come to court and testify because, like I said, we only heard that 3 or 4 witnesses were going to be testifying in this case. And I think that once everybody's seen that Diddy was going to go down and that Cassie was as brave as she was to go up there and say, because you got to think, it take bravery, regardless if you feel like she a victim or not. It take bravery to go up there and say, hey, dude was peeing in my mouth and all this other stuff. Like, that's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? So she was brave for that. So I think her bravery inspired a lot of other people to say, you know what, I'm coming forward too. Forget it. We got a chance to put this guy in jail. Why not? I hate this dude. And unfortunately for Diddy, look, man, enemies, especially in business, I'll say this. Enemies are not meant to be created. They're meant to create themselves. You're going to have enough people hate you if you have enough success. They're not going to like you anyway. Diddy, we've seen the videos. We know everybody, you guys if you watch Diddy, if you just haphazardly seen Diddy, we see how he talked to his employees. We've seen the reality TV shows where, he's tripping on people and screaming at people and treating people like, a certain way. In fact, his former assistant even said that Diddy was like a god amongst men. That's the terms he used to describe it. Right? Let me get back to this. Let me show you guys, because you gotta think, so you guys don't think I'm just saying that. So Kid Cudi, it was reported that Kid Cudi was going to testify. This is before he started testifying, and I got his testimony right here. We're going to show it on the live. And the judge ruled that he could testify about how his dog acted following a 2011 home break-in. Now, look, man, if there's any white people in that jury and Diddy did anything to this dog, to Kid Cudi's dog, he going to jail for life. If there's any white folk on that jury, and I'm sure there is, and this man say Diddy did anything, I'm about to read it. I ain't seen this yet. But if Kid Cudi get on the stand and say Diddy hurt my dog, Diddy gone for life. It's a wrap. That's where the line is going to be drawn. I promise you. Oh, man. So The attorneys and the judge had a laugh this morning debating what Scott Mescudi, also known, that's Kid Cudi real name, Mescudi. So Kid Cudi can testify about later in the day, including how his dog acted following a 2011 break-in at the rapper's home. The rapper is expected to say his home was burglarized and a car was set on fire with a Molotov cocktail around the time Diddy was learning that he was dating Cassie. The judge asked prosecutors, he's not going to testify about what the dog thought, so they were joking. The prosecutor assured the court he's not a dog sidekick, but Kid Cudi is expected to say his dog was jumpier and more scared after the burglary incident. So you know you're going to jail when the judge and the lawyers all laughing. Like the defense attorney is laughing with the prosecutors and the prosecutors laughing with the judge. They ain't taking it. They like, man, it's a wrap. We already got him. Everybody relaxed. Diddy's lawyers like, we got the payment. Y'all seen the Drewski skit where he like, hey, he acting like a lawyer. He like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Like, good, man. I got good news and bad news. Say, okay, what's the good news? The good news is we got your payment, buddy. Said, okay, what's the bad news? The bad news is they gave you life. So this is the former assistant, George Kaplan. This dude, you could just see in his face, he terrified of Diddy, right? His testimony continued. It said that he was back on the stand and he resumed his testimony that he started yesterday under examination from the prosecution. Kaplan talks about rarely holding cash for Combs, including $50,000 once. Kaplan infrequently carried cash for Sean Diddy Combs, but one time in 2015, Combs' security staff asked him to hold $50,000 while they were on his private jet. The former executive assistant to the music mogul testified to this. Once they landed, Kaplan handed the money to other security personnel. Combs also had him get $10,000 cash from Western Union a couple times. Kaplan would give the cash to Combs after he picked it up. Kaplan previously testified he started at Combs Enterprises in 2013 as an executive assistant to the chief operating officer and was promoted about 10 months later to Combs' personal executive assistant. Kaplan said he understands the immunity order requires him to testify truthfully and allows for this testimony not to be used against me, quote. So he confirmed that he would submit to perjury if he lied on the stand. He was asked about Cassie Ventura. George Kaplan says that he witnessed Combs be violent with Cassie one time late in 2015. I think they're trying to establish that nobody could leave Diddy even if they wanted to. Like, they're trying to establish Diddy as the monster and everybody else around him as the victim. And I think that's why they're just giving everybody immunity. Like, we're going to give you something, you give us something. Kaplan testified, Kaplan's the assistant, he testified he heard glass break. When he looked back, he saw Combs standing over Ventura, who was laying on her back with her legs extended up as if she was trying to create space between the two of them. So basically, she was trying to push Diddy away with her legs. Combs was holding up a whiskey, rocks glass in his hand. He said there was tremendous commotion and a stumble, then glass crashed. He said he looked away a few seconds later, he heard Cassie scream, "Isn't anybody seeing this?" So you got to think that's got to be terrifying, to be real. Like, it's one thing when domestic violence is happening behind closed doors, but when Diddy is just beating this girl up in front of everybody, allegedly, you got to think how she would perceive this. Like, bro, all you guys are in the music business. Everybody's executives. Everybody rich. Y'all all just watching this happen to me? Y'all not seeing this? Y'all just letting this happen? You seeing other men around? Nobody stopping Diddy. You people coming in and out the room looking? Nobody stopping them. And she on her back getting beat up and glass thrown at her. And we know that Diddy do that stuff because we seen it on video. Right? This is not just he said, she said. We seen it on video. Kaplan said Combs later went to a different area of the plane. This is happening on a plane. Went to a different area of the plane and told Ventura to stay in the back. Some of Combs' other staff members, including security and management, were on the plane, but nobody went to check on Cassie. Nobody went to check on Cassie. They were so scared. Look, man, sometimes, this is a lesson. We get so conditioned in America to love the money and use the people instead of using the money to love the people. That it's disgusting. Everybody on that plane was worried about their check at the end of the day. And nobody had the integrity to say, this money ain't good money, man. I'm working for somebody extremely evil. All of them are complicit. Everybody complicit. I have a rule for my employees. We have rules like in my company. By the grace of God, California has, certain laws that I could, as an employer, that I could do what I want to do too. But we have rules in my company. And they're typically just standards that we have. You cheat on your wife, bro. Most of my guys are married. Most of my employees are married or in very serious relationships. Most of them are married, though. If you cheat on your wife, you fired. Hey, dog, if you have a domestic violence case or anything like that come out, you and your wife, y'all fighting, you get a case, you get caught up, you fired. If you having problems at home, come to the office, we'll talk about it. Why? Because I can't be associated with that. Number one, the company can't be associated with it. Number two, but three, I know if you'll do that to the people closest to you, I can't really trust you like that. Four, I have integrity. There's a bunch of reasons why. It's crazy that people would just do anything for a check. I know it exists, but every time I hear something like this, it's just crazy to me. So all these people were on the plane. Nobody helped Cassie. He said he didn't personally call the police about the incident either, because they're going to ask, why didn't you call the police? Right? Kaplan went on to say that he saw Ventura with injuries at Diddy's home. Now, this is a guy that's an executive assistant to Diddy. He doing everything for him. He going to see this stuff. After testifying about one occasion in which he saw Diddy become violent with Cassie on the private jet in 2015, he talked about another time in which he saw Ventura with visible injuries in Diddy's home. Combs had called Kaplan over an intercom system to meet him in the master bathroom, where he directed Kaplan to pick up over-the-counter products like witch hazel. Kaplan said he realized the products would make an anti-swelling agent. So Diddy was like a scientist. He was like Walter White in this month. He was like, go over here, get this so we can, my mama told me these are the remedies for swelling, and I just punched this girl in the face, so we got to get the swelling down. So go to the store, get this. That's this dude is saying Diddy told him to do. To get to Combs, Kaplan had to pass Cassie, who was crying on the bed with her head in her hands. He testified she had visible bruising on her face, and Kaplan added, he didn't stop to talk to her or check on her. He left the house to get these items that Diddy requested at a nearby pharmacy, paying for them with his Combs Enterprises company credit card. This is where the racketeering comes in effect. You can't be using employees to cover up crimes, dog. You can't, and there's a paper trail there. Oh yeah, I use my company credit card to cover up a crime or to do a crime. That's why I do want immunity, because he know this stuff is illegal. I know this stuff is illegal. Kaplan left Combs' employment due to discomfort with observed physical behavior. Ex-assistant testifies. So he said that he quit Diddy in 2015, December 2015. In other words, after I got all the money for the year. These dudes they be acting like they be acting, man, look. After I got paid for the whole year, I once I saw some certain stuff, I just worked there for like 6 more months, stacked my money, and got up out of there. No integrity. Let me pour some more water for myself. All this is learning lessons, by the way, guys. We're gonna get to that though, because there's things that we should learn from this. Diddy is one of the most affluent entrepreneurs of our generation. We got to learn from these situations. We'll talk about it. But this is a quote from this assistant. He said, the central reason that I left my job as Mr. Combs' assistant was that I was not comfortable or aligned with the physical behavior that had been going on that I had seen pieces of over the course of a couple months. Kaplan said he didn't want to be a party to fixing those type of things. Okay. He said it was extremely challenging because I was obviously extremely grateful to be in the role and have a great deal of respect for Diddy. But in my heart of hearts, I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. After I got paid everything I wanted to get paid and took all the pictures and took all the private jets and had all the fun. Combs once threw apples at another girlfriend, this assistant said. So it wasn't just Cassie that he was beating up. He testified that he once saw Diddy throw a number of decorative or real green apples at another girlfriend in 2015 at Combs' Miami Beach home. Said he was very angry. He was throwing apples really hard. She was trying to shield herself with her arms as she moved away from him. He testified that he did not intervene. He said he was a young kid really trying to make it in the entertainment industry. Entertainment industry is demonic, man. I used to want to be in the entertainment industry as well. Then you get in it and you get some relationships. You be like, oh, these dudes is bums. That's number one. That, like, one thing I learned that in the business, especially entertainment business, a lot of these dudes be bums. They be looking like they got something. They don't really be having nothing. Like, it'll blow your mind if you guys knew what was going on. I understand that. He said this was essentially my first professional endeavor, and I actually thought for a second this might be normal. I kind of understand that. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of understand that. Like, if you don't come from, if you ain't never been in this, you like, yo, what's it, and nobody's tripping. I can understand him feeling that way. He spoke about Christina Karam, by the way. Christina Karam is the one that was called Diddy's right-hand woman, his Ghislaine Maxwell. And he spoke about her in his testimony. So I'm going to show you guys that in a second. I thought that was really interesting. This is a lot of information on this live. So stick with me, you guys. But this is very interesting. But I understand him saying, I don't know if this is normal or what's going on, because I'm new and ain't nobody else reacting. So I kind of understand that. Let me give him a little grace. He is testifying. So, I mean, I guess. Kaplan said, he gave notice to Diddy that he was leaving in September and left in December. Kaplan said he spoke with Christina Karam, Combs' former chief of staff, after the apple throwing incident, and also told her about the private jet incident involving Cassie. She said she was sad and disappointed. He said that he told Karam, I think they're asking him about Christina Karam because she's about to testify too. And I told you I've been saying that consistently this whole time. But it's funny because she said that she never saw any of this. Right? Let me pull up her statement. Because when she was asked about this, I'm pretty sure that she said she didn't know nothing. I could be wrong. Okay, so here we go. Maybe she just used I got the article right here. Maybe she just used a certain language to make us feel like, the right hand to Sean Diddy Combs is, the right hand to Sean Diddy Combs and a defendant in lawsuits against the scandalized rap mogul is speaking out. Christina Karam, who has been described as the producer's chief of staff, has been accused of witnessing and assisting the Bad Boys founder in his alleged trafficking venture. She addressed the allegations for the first time, telling USA Today in a statement, quote, for months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable harm and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family. I have never condoned or aided and abetted the sexual assault of anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. This idea that I could be accused of playing a role in or even being a bystander to the RAPE of anyone is beyond upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable. That is not who I am. My heart goes out to all the victims of sexual assault. I'm confident that the allegations against me will be proven to be untrue. So she stuck to a very specific thing. Like, I never seen him RAPE nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never seen that. But what I did see, I ain't gonna talk about. Right? So, said Diddy's assistant Kaplan talked to Christina Karam about all these different things. And he said that he told Karam that this was going to be the last time or the last straw for me, and I was going to see my way out of this role over a period of time. Kaplan told Combs that he was leaving because his dad was sick, and Combs was extremely gracious. He said he last saw Combs before the pandemic, and he kept in touch because he liked Diddy and wanted to continue having a relationship with him. That's where he lose me. Like, this kind of stuff you lose me. Like, bro, on one minute it's like, oh, I'm like extremely, I'm guilty, and I feel like, it's just the wrong thing to do. But it's also like, but I still want to keep him in my back pocket for relationships because I want a reference to another job. You weak, bro. Why would you still want a relationship with him if he's so bad? Because something wrong with you. During cross-examination, the defense asked Kaplan to expand on positive things he said about his time working for Diddy. So dude said, working for Mr. Combs made my world so much bigger in a short period of time. The former assistant said he still carries business lessons from Diddy with him to this day, because Diddy is he's a great businessman. Like, you can't take on a business level. He does. I'm not saying he does everybody right, but he makes good deals for himself. And he said, and he believes that he wouldn't have had the jobs and success he had if he hadn't worked for Diddy. Didn't I just say that? Dude just wanted a good reference. So he kept a good relationship with Diddy, made a good reason to leave, even though you saying, like, out one side of his mouth, it's like, oh, well, I was doing, you know. But on the other side of your mouth, you saying, like, you know, I really wanted to keep the relationship with him because you wanted more. It was all about the money, man. It was all about the money. Kaplan said he went eyes wide open into the assistant role for Diddy, knowing the hours would be long and the job would be difficult, because Diddy had that reputation. He described Diddy's infectious energy and said, when you work for Mr. Combs, part of the job, when you're close with him or not, he has an extremely infectious vibration. You're around him and you feel his excitement. Diddy's a good businessman. That's part of being a leader, by the way. Kaplan said Diddy is a god amongst men. This is where it go. This is where it go to the other side. Like, bro, what are we talking? Hold on. You know what I'm saying? What is we talking about? Dude said, I'm a young man and this is a god among men, meaning Diddy, which he's not, by the way. And God is showing him that. Pride go before the fall. Pride go before the fall. Pride go before destruction. A haughty spirit before the fall. Haughty means arrogant. Ain't nobody God. Let's get that straight. That kind of offended me. Ain't nobody God. Let's get that straight. I don't care how much money you make. Money don't make you God, bro. And I'm rich, and I'm saying that. In a mansion right now, currently, as we speak, in the office of my mansion, money don't make you God, bro. Money is just money. And for these dudes, man, these dudes is weird. A lot of people weird when it comes to celebrities. I remember growing up in the hood. If you had money, it almost made you exempt from anything. Like, you had pervert dudes that was 30 years old coming to our high schools, picking up the 16-year-old girls. But because they had a nice car, everybody would be like, nah, he weird, bro. I was the kid, man. When I was young, I was wild, really wild. Y'all wouldn't even be able to see it on me now. I done got right with God completely. I was really wild when I was young, and I used to, man, I ain't care about none of that. I don't care if you got money. I get in all kind of, because of that. Money don't make you God. This dude said, I'm a young man and Diddy is a god among men, describing their dynamic at a time. He said working for Combs was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And even though his moral compass pushed him to quit, he still wishes Combs well on his birthday every year, November 4th. Yeah, you a weirdo, fool. Combs smiled when Kaplan mentioned the birthday messages. During his testimony, Kaplan often looked over at Diddy, and the two appeared to smile at each other. Yeah, they just weird. And I get it. Diddy has done some good things for some people. I'm not going to take that from him. But the Bible said, look, man, there's a biblical principle, a business biblical principle about this, actually. And it says the wicked's wealth is stored up for the righteous. Like, what that means is the wicked's wealth is stored up for the righteous. The sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. What that means is you can be blessed with a lot. And still, if you're not right by God, if you're not doing right with God, you just storing up that stuff to give it to people that are decent people. This is why you see Diddy in this situation where you got lawsuits, lost all your companies, went from over $1 billion net worth to a couple $100 million of what's left, which is still a lot, but don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying that's a lot to lose in a short period of time. What Cat Williams said, they could take you down in a couple weekends. The wicked's wealth stored up for the righteous. I'm not saying that Diddy ain't never did nothing good for nobody, but stop it. Combs' ex-chief of staff was disappointed and saddened by witnessing the violence. The former assistant confirmed that. Whoa. This is about Christina Karam. Defense attorney confirmed, Diddy's lawyer confirmed with George Kaplan that Christina Karam, Combs' former chief of staff, was disappointed and saddened when he told her about the violence he witnessed between Combs and his girlfriend. Diddy's lawyer confirmed with Kaplan that Karam wasn't indifferent and didn't endorse the violent behavior. I really believe Christina Karam is getting ready to testify because of all this. Because the cross-examination is even asking about her. So is the prosecution. Kaplan, when asked, said it was sad and the violence was horrible. But it was also sad, he said, because it compelled him to leave a job that he would like and he was proud of. Combs' staff, I don't believe that dude left the job because of anything going on with Cassie. Bro, you seen her get beat up multiple times, walk right by her like it was nothing. You did that for months. Shut up. You went to the store and got stuff to cover it up. Shut up. You was cleaning up hotel rooms after freak offs. Knock it off. So he kept getting asked about the expenses he was doing with his corporate credit card. The lawyer said, he just kept basically, they just pressing him about the company credit card because that's where the racketeering part comes in. They keep asking about Christina Karam. Let's see what this is about. It said Kaplan, Combs' former executive assistant, said Combs never personally paid for something in the moment. Usually, an assistant, like then chief of staff Christina Karam, would hold Combs' wallet, which held just a credit card and a license. Yes, if he paying for stuff, so is she then. Because Diddy even praised this woman. Diddy said, this woman is my right-hand woman. I couldn't do any of this without her. I need her and on a day-to-day, blah, blah, blah. She takes care of everything for me. So she knew about this stuff. Combs' travel and excursions were also handled by employees, not Combs. Kaplan said, or Diddy's lawyer asked Kaplan whether there was any reason to think he's keeping track of baby oil purchases. That's a good cross. Said definitely not. No. Said his world was the size of Earth, explaining that his boss was dealing at a high level, blah, blah, blah. We know Diddy was doing stuff at a high level. To think that he knew where some of these things were coming from is unrealistic. So dude's saying like Diddy didn't know how much baby oil he was purchasing. But why would they feel the need to purchase that much? Let me not go there. He said on the jet, he didn't recall if Diddy actually hit Cassie, or he said he didn't recall seeing injuries, but he knew that Diddy threw some stuff at her. I want to get to the good stuff. Ex-assistant says he took care of cleaning hotel rooms after Diddy left because he didn't trust the hotel staff. That's bull crap. You don't trust the hotel staff to do their job at their hotel, so you're going to clean the room for them? That's bull. Stop it. I'm one of the most clean people. I believe in, like, if somebody's serving me, I got to treat them right. So I don't leave even a hotel room dirty, even though that's their job to clean it. I'm just one of those type of people. Like, I'm going to clean the hotel room myself. But I'm not going to say it's because I don't trust them to clean it. This dude said he don't trust them to clean, don't trust the hotel to clean a room that Diddy's not even going to be in no more. What are you talking about? Kaplan, former assistant to Diddy Combs, said he took special care to clean up hotel rooms after Combs left them because of his distrust in the hotel staff. He said, I didn't want his reputation to be compromised. Why would it be compromised if he wasn't doing nothing wrong? He said it would hurt his reputation, adding that people want a payday. When Combs was at a business lunch, for example, Kaplan said he would be on, but when Combs would stay at hotels, he was generally on call. He said, quote, you understood that this was his personal time. In other words, he was in there doing free calls. Kaplan never saw Combs with a gun, whatever. They already got the gun out of Diddy's house. I don't know how much. I don't know where they're going to go with that, but they got guns out of Diddy's house and hotel rooms. Combs' assistant said he desperately did not want to testify. So he's still trying to keep a relationship with Diddy. This is one of them on the fence type of dudes. Like, I want to testify and I want to save myself, but I also want, in case he beats this, I want him to know that I was doing the right thing. Coward. Everything about his testimony and everything about him screams, I'm a coward. That's how he comes off. Said he desperately did not want to come here today, but he was subpoenaed. He confirmed that he still has nothing against Diddy, despite what he saw. The plane incident, the Apple incident, shook him tremendously, I guess, whatever that means. He said, in my heart of hearts, I told myself I knew what was happening and I felt an element of guilt that to not be stopping it. People can be injured all the time without injuries being visible. Shut up, man. We don't even like this dude no more. I don't like this dude. I don't like this dude at all. So, Kid Cudi is about to testify. Now we're about to get to Kid Cudi's testimony. The article says Kid Cudi's testimony is necessary for prosecutors to help establish a broader conspiracy. Okay. So prosecutors need Kid Cudi's testimony to support their argument that arson was just one of the crimes carried out pursuant to a broader conspiracy that Combs was at the center of it. So the arson, Diddy is charged with arson, which is, I don't know about federally, but I know in California that carries a life sentence now. Not because of the California fires. It was always, there's like 5 things I was taught. I come from street. So they teach you about what could get you life early on. Arson is one of those things. Arson is like, I think it's arson, murder, home invasion, kidnapping, and I think attempted murder. I think those are the big 5 that, bro, you probably can get. Trafficking might be one in one of those now, but those 5, you're gonna get life. Depending on the elements. So Cassie previously testified in her testimony and in a civil lawsuit that Diddy became enraged and threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's vehicle in 2011 when he found out Ventura and Cudi were dating. Shortly after that threat was made, Kid Cudi's car surely did explode in his driveway. Right? Williams said that prosecutors have succeeded in establishing patterns of violent behavior. This is a legal analyst saying this. By Combs, along with proving he procured narcotics and engaged in trafficking. He said they have to put it under an umbrella for there to be a racketeering charge, or at least to secure a conviction on that. That he directed pursuant to a broader criminal enterprise. All of these acts happened together, and he was engaged in acts of force and threats to further this criminal activity. So that's how so basically they're trying to establish patterns. That makes a lot of sense. They're trying to establish patterns to put all this together to say this is what was going on and this is why. Ex-assistant maintains respect for Combs despite witnessing abuse. We don't care about him anymore. Kid Cudi has been called to the stand. This is the latest update. Kid Cudi gets on the stand, and all this is happening, by the way, live right now while we're speaking about it. So we're looking at literally the live updates. This is going on in court as we're on this live stream. Okay. Says Kid Cudi says he knew Ventura and Combs had some problems when he first started dating her. Right? He said that she and Sean Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. That's when he kind of came into the picture. Now, Kid Cudi's on the stand. He said December 2011, he received a call from Cassie around 6 a.m. and she told him that Diddy found out they were dating. She asked me to pick her up, he said. She sounded really stressed on the phone, nervous, scared, so I went to go pick her up. Cudi describes how Combs' employees were on the verge of tears as she told him Combs was at his house. He testified that after he picked up Cassie in December 2011, they went to a nearby hotel and spoke on the phone with Capricorn Clark, one of Diddy's employees. So they're establishing, by the way, the prosecution is establishing that Diddy used a bunch of employees, the money that he was getting, and the enterprise, the Combs enterprise, in order to have minions to carry out crimes. They're trying to establish, look, here's Diddy using another employee. Diddy use Cassie as an employee. Diddy use this assistant to cover these crimes, to do this stuff. This assistant, this person, all these employees that Diddy had were being used. It was an organization that was being used to commit crimes, serious crimes, federal crimes. That's what they're trying to establish. That's why they keep bringing this stuff up. So Capricorn Clark, one of Diddy's employees, seemed very scared and sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Clark told the two that Combs and an associate were inside Kid Cudi's house and she was in a car outside waiting for them. She was forced to go along with them over there. If you forcing employees to go do home invasions, bro, and arson, if that's what's being alleged and it's true, you have a problem. On the way back to his house from the hotel, Kid Cudi said he called Diddy. When Cudi asked Combs if he was in his house, Combs said, "I just want to talk to you." Cudi said, "I'm on my way. I'll be right down." Man, I'm not going to lie. I don't care if it's Diddy or not. You in my house, bro, talking about something. I just want to talk to you, bro. I'm coming up there. Man, we coming up, boy. I can't wait to get home. I would be excited to come home. Bro, what is you doing in my house? I'm not even coming in talking. Y'all know what I'm saying. Legally. Ain't no talking, bro. You in my house. Kid Cudi said, "I'm on my way. I'll be right down there. I'm over here waiting for you," Diddy said. So Diddy replied, so that these are threats. Black men, we know what this is. Diddy in your house. Yeah, no, I just want to talk to you. I'm on my way. I'll be right down. Diddy say, I'm over here waiting for you. Y'all know what that means. Black men, we know. Most people, I'm being funny when I say black men, but y'all know what I'm saying. Items at Kid Cudi's home had been moved, he testified. The outside of his house seemed pretty normal upon his return, but later he realized that his security cameras had been moved, and he had not moved them. So he trying to insinuate that Diddy moved his cameras. Inside the house, some gifts that he had bought for his family were open and on the kitchen counter. He said his dog was locked in the bathroom but he had not shut the dog in there before he left. Well, yeah, black people ain't gonna play with no dogs. Like, man, throw some bologna in that bathroom and get that dog in there. I don't care if it's the nicest dog in the world, man. We ain't here for no dogs. That's where we draw the line. We ain't fighting no animals. Anyways, Cudi said, I wanted to confront him. I wanted to fight him. Heck yeah, you do. You in my house, bro. What you talking about? So he said after he returned home, Diddy, again asking where he was, Combs said he was on his way. Kid Cudi said he then decided to call the police. He recalled thinking at the time, I don't know who he has with him. I don't know what his intentions are. So he filed a police report that day about the apparent break-in. See, I aspire to have that level of I don't know if I would have called the police. I'm gonna just be real. It's the right thing to do. I probably would have called after I got there. Like after we took care of the situation. I'm my first line of defense. I don't know. I aspire to have that. I don't have that thought in my mind, like call the police. I just don't. But that is the right thing to do, I guess. It's like pulling teeth, though, for some of us. I feel like the police make everything worse, no matter what. I don't care if it's a shootout. I've been in shootouts. I've been shot multiple times. You guys know. I've been shot 4 times. Been in a lot of shootouts. Well, a few. And I aspire to have the strength to call the police like some people would. I just don't have that kind of strength. But Kid Cudi says he ignored Combs' text after the alleged break-in. So Diddy probably was just breaking in to just show him I could be in your personal space. This is one of them moves. Like, I'm just trying to show you, like, you touchable. He said, I guess, this is Cudi. He said, I guess he was in the dark about things and wanted to talk. But at that point, post break-in, I didn't want to talk. You broke in my house. You messed with my dog. I don't want to talk to you. This is a quote from Cudi. One morning on January 2012, Kid Cudi said his dog watcher called him from his home to tell him that his car was on fire. He said that he was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house at the time. Bro, Cudi at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house? What you doing, bro? Anyways, he said his friends sent him photos of his damaged car in his driveway before he got there. The jury was now reviewing the photos. They had pictures of it. On the witness stand, Kid Cudi described the photo as the damage of the Molotov cocktail in my Porsche. It looks like the top of my Porsche was cut open, and that's where a Molotov cocktail was put in. Kid Cudi said the Porsche couldn't be salvaged after the fire. He said it was just kind of burnt up. And when asked his reaction to the incident, Cudi deadpan responded, "What the F?" The jury went on break. The prosecutor says his team is on track to call all of the witnesses they planned for today. So there's going to be even more witnesses that they're going to be calling today, which is crazy. So the Kid Cudi was still in the witness box. And it said Cudi asked for a meeting with Combs after the car fire. The last time Cudi saw Cassie was at a private club in LA a few days after his car was damaged in the fire in 2012. He reached out to Diddy after the car fire and, quote, finally told him that we need to meet up and talk. He had been wanting to talk to me. So after the fire, I was like, this is getting out of hand. I need to talk to him. Cudi describes meeting with Combs. So it says he is now testifying about meeting up with Sean Diddy Combs and the meeting he set up after his car was damaged. He said when he first walked into the meeting, he was alone. Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. He said, this is a quote from this is what Cudi's saying on the stand. He said Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. That's a quote. He said he wanted to. He went on to discuss Kid Cudi's relationship with Cassie. We discussed pretty much the whole story about how me and Cassie first started to date, to what it was, and how it ended. Cudi said he told Combs that he had taken Ventura's word when she told him that she and Combs were over with. So Cassie basically was like, "Yo, no, me and Diddy broke up." So Cudi started dating her. Then Diddy started blowing up cars. Then Cudi was like, "Hey, bro, I didn't even know. She made me feel like y'all was over with. So I didn't know." Combs' calm demeanor was off-putting. He apologized years later for past incidents. Kid Cudi testified. Cudi described Diddy and his calm demeanor during the meeting as off-putting. He said, quote, "I was upset to find that she had kind of went back to him. When Cassie Ventura arrived at the meeting, she explained we fell in love and things just happened." So I guess Cassie ended up walking in the room. And that's a power move by Diddy, just showing him like, "Yo, bro, like I got her here right now. She gonna do what I tell her to do." When Cudi asked Combs about his car, he responded, "I don't know what you're talking about." Kid Cudi pulled his hand out of a handshake, and Combs asked him, "What's wrong?" He said, "Wait, I thought we were cool." He confirmed with Combs that his word was that he didn't have anything to do with the damage to his car. So they went to shake hands. I'm gonna give you all the play by. Like he said, we went to shake hands. Diddy gave me that look like I don't know what you're talking about. Like I know what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna say that because you might be wearing a wire. One of them type of things. And dude, like, "Hold on, bro. Like, you blew my car up?" Anyways, said Cudi and Combs ran into each other again at Soul House in 2015. Combs, who was there with his daughter, pulled Cudi aside and apologized. He said, "Man, I just want to apologize for everything and all that BS." I respect that. Cudi testified he found peace with the situation with Diddy after that. He said that was the last thing I was expecting to get from him. Yeah, man, because you get, we do stupid stuff. I understand that. That's just man thing. That's just a man thing, bro. My bad, bro. I was on some BS. I don't know what that was about. Defense says DNA taken from Kid Cudi's damaged car belonged to a woman. That's kind of crazy. On cross-examination, Cudi confirmed that the DNA was collected from his vehicle after it was damaged in the 2012 fire. The defense attorney, Diddy's attorney, Brian Steele, asked Kid Cudi if he was aware that the DNA results that came back from his car were from a woman. Cudi said he didn't hear any follow-up from authorities about the results. On cross-examination, he testified that when his relationship ended with Cassie, they just stopped talking. After being in contact almost every day for about a year. The Diddy's lawyer said, "She played you, right?" I love when white lawyers talk like us. "She played you, right?" Cudi said yes. And mind you, Brian Steele is Young Thug's lawyer. He's the one that just got Young Thug off on that RICO trial. Or not off. He got him. He got it where dude ain't doing life. Kid Cudi says Ventura spoke to him about relationship with Combs in 2010. So he's being cross-examined at this point. Kid Cudi's being cross-examined. In 2010, Cudi said that's when she was telling me she was having problems with Diddy. Right? Cudi confirms there was no damage to his home after the apparent break-in. He said Combs didn't threaten him that day when they spoke. He did say that he did reiterate that Cassie confided in him about the physical abuse from Combs. He confirmed that she had told him there was physical abuse in the relationship, but not told him about any sexual abuse. And it says that he testified that he was bothered by how Diddy treated Cassie. I think most of these dudes really liked Cassie. They just really did. Said the person who played you and the person who played Sean was Miss Ventura. True? Cudi said true. Steele finishes his cross-examination. Said, "Thank you so much, sir." Cudi said, "Yeah, no problem." Ventura said Combs hit her and kicked her. Kid Cudi testified. Prosecutor went back at Kid Cudi and said, and asked him what Cassie had told him about the physical abuse from Diddy. And she told him, quote, that he would hit her and sometimes kick her, which we all seen on the video. Cudi testified that Ventura was really shook after Combs discovered their relationship. So he said Cassie was really shook that morning when and worried about Diddy finally knowing that we had been hanging out and that he had my address and he was probably going to go to my house. Kid Cudi said he and Ventura broke up in 2011 because the drama had become too much. He was concerned for her safety and his own because he said, this is a quote, because I knew Sean Combs was very violent. Let's see what these new updates are. So I think they're about to call Christina Karam, man. So after that, Kid Cudi got off the stand and the court took a lunch break. And then they went on to, now the article is talking about what we know about Christina Karam, Sean Diddy Combs' former chief of staff. Christina Karam, a former top executive of Diddy's enterprise, has been mentioned several times during testimony since the federal trial began. According to a 2021 Facebook post from Sean Combs, Diddy, she was essentially essential to his business life. This is a quote from Diddy about her. Christina, aka KK, keeps everything in my life and my business running, Diddy wrote in the post. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get ish done. Don't know how it functioned without her. She was with this guy for 8 years. She was working for Diddy for 8 years. The other assistant was working with him for like 8 months and saw he had a bunch of incidents where he had to go cover up or saw Cassie getting beat up and stuff like that. And he said himself, yeah, Diddy was giving me money to go pick up drugs multiple times. I went and picked up drugs from a bunch of different places. I was using the company credit card. Diddy would give me cash. I would have to go to Western Union. So in 8 months or so, that dude knew all that was going on. But you telling me Christina Karam didn't know nothing in 8 years? I don't believe it. That's bull. You feel me? And I read you guys her statement earlier. So, on redirect examination, the prosecutor, the feds, pressed Kid Cudi about his meeting with Sean Diddy Combs after his car was damaged by the fire. At that meeting, Cudi asked about the car. Combs responded that he didn't know what Cudi was talking about. And the prosecutor asked, what did Cudi think about Diddy's response? And Cudi said, I thought he was lying. The judge came back to the bench. Combs and Ventura, Cassie's former makeup artist, have been called to the stand. This is gonna be interesting because Cassie's makeup artist is the one that will be covering up the bruises and the swelling in the face and all that stuff. So I'm interested to see what this person has to say, and we'll end here with this testimony. Morales testified she worked for Diddy until 2005, and then later became Cassie's makeup artist. She worked for Diddy for 5 years between 2000 and 2005. She mentioned that she stopped working for him because she moved on to other clients, including Rihanna, whom she worked with for 13 years. So this is Rihanna's makeup artist, Cassie's makeup artist. Rihanna's makeup artist is a big deal because Rihanna's made a billion off of Fenty. So that's a side note. She said she first met Cassie on a photo shoot in Brooklyn when Cassie was 16 years old. She started doing Ventura's makeup regularly around the time that she signed with Bad Boys in 2007. She said we were close. She was like a little sister to me. Sean always made sure that the look was perfect, so we had to report back to him with pictures before anything. The former makeup artist saw Cassie Ventura's injuries on her face once around Grammy weekend in 2010. She testified after going to a party at Prince's house. Morales and Ventura went back to a hotel room. Combs came in the room and asked where Ventura was. Combs went in the room where Cassie was and closed the door, and Morales heard yelling and screaming. She said, I was just frantic and I just didn't know what to do. Later, Diddy stormed out of the hotel room. Ventura was distraught. She said, quote, she had a swollen eye and a busted lip and knots all over her head. Man, that was I read that a little too quick. It kind of hit me. It's messed up, man. She said the makeup artist said that she saw Cassie with a swollen eye, a busted lip, and knots all over her head. She then took Cassie to her home where she stayed for a few days, she testified. The makeup artist says she didn't call police when she saw Ventura injured because she feared Diddy. Mila Morales said she had a friend who was a doctor who came to the house to check on Cassie and check her out after she saw the injuries. The doctor examined the injuries to Cassie's face, her stomach, and her ribs, and recommended Cassie go to the emergency room. Ventura refused to go to the emergency room, so they didn't call the police. Morales said she didn't call the police because she feared Diddy would come, and she feared for her own life. After the incident, Morales said she and Ventura never spoke of it again. And that was the only things that the prosecution asked the questions of. The jury got to see a photo of Cassie wearing makeup. Let me say this, man. Let me say this. Sometimes we read these stories as entertainment, and we take these stories like, this is crazy what's going on. These are people, though. And I just want to say that. Like, these are people. And a lot of these people, some of these people were complicit, and some of these people were genuinely scared for their life because they looking at it like, bro, if he could do that to Cassie and get away with it, and he with her we see pictures and all that. Every event she there next to him. He blowing up cars and all this stuff. They probably hearing 1,000 stories behind the scenes that you can't say in court because it's just hearsay. But these are people. So everybody, some of this stuff, you know. So the jury saw the photo of Cassie wearing makeup that Morales did. It was for a video shoot for Wiz Khalifa's Black and Yellow. So I guess was Cassie in that video? I don't know. So I guess this lady did the makeup for Cassie for that video. The Black and Yellow, that video. Before the jury entered, the defense argued to admit photos like this to push back on Ventura's previous testimony that Diddy stifled her career in the freak-offs he allegedly orchestrated, took time away from. Shut up. They crazy. Morales confirms concern for Cassie after the 2010 hotel incident. This is not the one that we seen the video of. This is a different incident. This is the one that she was in. She was there, and she's, Diddy nodded Cassie head up, busted her lip, and swole her eye up. She confirmed that she did not personally see what happened between Diddy and Cassie inside the bedroom after he went in. She testified that she and Ventura spoke with one of her friends who was a lawyer shortly after the incident, and she said, I was very concerned, of course. Confirmed that she continued her friendship with Diddy after her and Combs had broke up. Morales says she has not been paid for any interviews she gave about Cassie or Diddy's relationship. Says she wasn't paid for any of the public interviews, and now she's off the stand. The hotel employee is next to testify, so they're getting a lot of testimonies today. Said the hotel employee, the government's next witness is Frederick Zemmour, an employee at a hotel in Beverly Hills. I don't know what that hotel name is. L'Hermitage Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. He's the 15th witness called by the prosecution. 15 witnesses so far. So it says he's now on the stand. And the prosecutors admit records from the Beverly Hills Hotel. And they're admitting hotel reservations all the way back to 2008. So we'll get on that on another live stream. We'll wait for the updates to come out. Overall, man, when I look at this situation, now we're going to get into our entrepreneur. We're going to let's do like 20 minutes on this real quick and end it with this. So this is the portion of the live event where we look at these topics from the, not just the entertainment perspective, but from an educational perspective where we can learn something from this. And this is called Community Hour. This is where my entrepreneurs, you guys know, this is how we do it. We talk about this from the business perspective. Salute to everybody. If you're not in our private live event, we do it every Wednesday. Update, by the way, for all my people. We do from Stuck to Seven Figures, where we do our live entrepreneur training, and we do, our coaching, where I teach you the 4 steps to turn your purpose into profit. From now on, I know some of you guys have been hitting me up, sending emails to the company. My employees have been getting back to me like, hey, man, we get a lot of these emails about the time zone difference because we usually do it Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. So go to the website that's scrolling right here at the bottom of the screen, ulgnd.com, and hit the unlock access button, enter your email, and you're going to get direct access to the live replay, and you're going to get to watch the private live event right away. And in my inner circle, we'll do that. We'll continue the lives every Wednesday if you're in my inner circle. And it's only $9 to join my inner circle. Go over there, check it out. But we're going to talk about this right now, this situation from this perspective. When I look at this situation, actually, hold on. Did we have? No. Okay, I didn't have nothing else. I was making sure I didn't have nothing else to report because I didn't want to miss nothing. When I look at this situation with Diddy, what I see is an employer and a person that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, did a lot of wrong too. I believe he committed a lot of these crimes. But that's not the reason. You got 15 people. Look, the prosecution said that 4 people were going to testify, and then 15 so far have come forward. And that's not because you're well liked. That's because you're well. I had a friend of mine when I was young. This is decades ago. This is, maybe 15 years ago. Friend of mine, when we was growing up, like I told you guys, I used to be a little wild when I was young. And he told me, salute to my boy Derek, it's my brother. He told me, Will, you got to calm down, because you're going to have people so scared they're going to want to do something to you because they're scared and they don't know how you're going to react. He was like, bro, people got to be able to make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And that always stuck with me, because I gave no room for anything when I was young. Anything that I felt like was disrespectful, or anything that I felt like was any little thing, I gave no room. And my homeboy told me that. And I took that lesson as I grew up, and as a child. I thought as a child, when I became a man, I put away childish things, right? That's what the scripture says. I spoke as a child, I understood as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things, but I never forgot that lesson. And I take that with me in business. And I'm teaching you guys this lesson. It's a huge lesson, that especially if you're going to have employees or clients that you got to deal with, or customers. This is such an important lesson as an entrepreneur and in business. People that work around you, with you, or for you, they have to be able to have some latitude. Diddy gave no latitude, none. And that's why there's a lot of people that they love him and they say, he did a lot of good things for me. But even those people are going to get on the stand, like we've seen them on the stand, get on the stand and say, yeah, he did a lot of good for me, but he was ass. He was a dick. He was hard to deal with. And then you got the other half of people, the other group of people that is like, I never had a good experience with him. I hate him. And I'm glad that he's in this situation. You know why there's 15 witnesses after only 4 were being reported originally? Because everybody sees we got a chance. Dude said Diddy is a god among men. That's how serious that people look at, like they look at him like that. Some people worship money, so they're going to feel that way. I think that's one of the lessons. I think that's one. Lead with love. Don't lead with fear. When you try to lead with fear, this is the kind of stuff that happens. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big portion of it. Another piece of this, I think one thing that we really haven't talked about that I really want to kind of amplify, and in fact, what it is money don't really, and we've heard this 1,000 times, money don't really change who you are. It's going to amplify who you are. It's not going to make you different. Why is Diddy doing this stuff? Like, step back and say, dude, you got all the access, all the privilege, everything in the world. I used to feel like, these are blessings. Like everything, like why would he misuse his blessings? But then if you read in the Bible, when Jesus first came out the water, got baptized, went into the wilderness to be tempted, and it said that while he was being tempted, Satan took him to the top of a mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment, and said, I'll give you all these things because I have the authority to do so, because the authority has been given to me by Adam and Eve. And all you got to do is bow to me. Sometimes I used to, until I had that understanding that, like, God, everything that we see with these dudes and some of these people, that's not God's blessings, man. Sometimes Satan just giving these people the kingdom of the world, the kingdoms of this world, so these people will bow to him, so you can do my will. Everybody's not a child of God either, by the way. I know people don't understand that. Read Romans chapter 9 in the Bible, where it says everybody from Abraham ain't of Abraham. Everybody in Israel ain't of Israel. Right? Read where Jesus says, when Jesus is going at the religious hypocrites at the time, he's talking crazy to him, and he go, you are of your father, the devil. You are of your father, Satan, and your desires to do your father's will. Everybody's not a child of God. And that's why they call the devil the prince of the world. And when I look at this situation with Diddy, I see a guy that I'm starting to question if it was ever any of God's blessings. Because money don't I know I have money. Not as much as Diddy, but I've made a lot of money. Very successful company. Work with really big businesses. Got equity in some good companies. Made good investments. I have access. And I got a little bit of fame. Y'all know. 1.1 billion views on TikTok. Hundreds of thousands of followers. I got 4 YouTube channels. I got all my plaques. 3 monetized TikToks. We got millions of followers if you add them all up. So I get it. I get being famous, I get access, I get all that. It don't do nothing but amplify who you are. If you're a humble person without money, you're gonna be a humble person with money. If you're an arrogant dictator without money, you're gonna be that with money. You're gonna be more of that because it's gonna give you it's gonna enable you. And when I look at this situation with Diddy, I think the learning lesson is to, before you have a certain level of success, start working on who you are. Because I believe Diddy would have been a drug addict regardless. I believe Diddy was going to be a pervert regardless. He was going to be a sexual deviant regardless. Bro, when it's to the point that you getting arrested in the hotel room the day of your arrest, you about to have a freak off that day, and they pulling all these drugs and baby oil and Astroglide from your hotel room that day. It could just be your assistant put it in there. But bro, why would your assistant feel the need to put that stuff in your hotel room a week within the same week that all your houses are getting raided for the same thing? That you just jumped on the jet out of fear and flew and only came back to the States because your lawyer called and said, hey, an innocent person wouldn't run. Why would you be planning to do it that night? Like in the same hotel that you got arrested in, they raided us. So it just amplifies who you are. There's some deep-rooted stuff there, man. So I think that's a huge lesson. Don't think that the money gonna change you. It's just gonna amplify who you are. And then the last thing is understand why we chasing success, entrepreneurs. I believe that people don't understand what success is. So when they achieve it, they don't even stop because they think success is money. When I sit with clients and I talk to you guys and I say, hey, give me your idea of success. You know what most people are going to say? I'm going to do it right in here with you guys. I'm going to do it right here with you guys. What is your idea of success? Just say it in your mind. 99% of y'all, 90% of y'all, I'm going to say 9. I'm not going to say 99. I'm going to say 90% of people instantly go to possessions and things and stuff. My grandma used to say things and stuff. They go, to own a house. That's success to you? To be able to take care of my family. Okay. That's success. Okay. To be able to go on vacations. To be able to buy whatever I want. To be able to have free time. Okay. We getting there, right? You know what success is? From my perspective, from the money that I've made and the success that I've achieved, which is 2 different things. Success is operating for the primary purpose for which you were created. This is Coach Will hat on right now. I'm talking to you guys like I would talk to my clients. Success is operating for the purpose for which something was created. If my business is operating, even if it's not making money yet, if the system is working for what it was created to do, which is help a certain group of people, that's what all business is based on, then it's operating successfully. If I'm doing what I'm meant to do in my life, if I found my purpose and I'm doing what I'm meant to do in my life, that's success. First, I remember Dave Chappelle doing an interview, and he said that he talked to his father and told his father he don't want to be a teacher, he wanted to be a comedian. And his father said, you know, how is he going to make money? Or how you won't be successful, or something along those lines. If you guys seen that interview, you know what I'm talking about. And Dave Chappelle said that depends on what you define as success, Dad, because I feel that if I can make a teacher salary being a comedian, then I made it. That's successful to me. He's 100% right. He understood. Because success is operating for the primary purpose for which you were created. And I talk about this in our From Stuck to 7 Figures, our private live event. Go over there, hit the unlock access button, put your email address in, and get access to the video so you can get the full breakdown of this. But the analogy that I use is, if I take the entryway of my mansion, if I go in the entryway of my mansion, the foyer, and I turn it into a football field, it's still an expensive home, but it's a waste, or it's still an expensive house, but it's a waste of a beautiful home. That means if it's not being used for what it was created for, it's not successful. No matter how much money it's worth. It can be expensive, but it's not operating for the purpose that it was created for. If I take this cup, if this cup was made of solid gold, and I decide that I'm gonna go in the middle of the desert and use it as a shovel, Even if it's an expensive cup, it's not a successful cup because it's not you being used for what it was created to be used for. No different than us. You could be having a business, making millions, billions of dollars. Look at this situation with Diddy. But you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You could be working a job that you hate, making a lot of money. Do you feel successful? Oh, okay. Because that's not what success is. Getting rich, being successful, two different things. You want to be both. What are some good reasons to want to be successful? Right? And like I said, this is our entrepreneur hour. This is Coach Will hat on. So if you ain't trying to be successful, exit stage left. This ain't for you. You know what I mean? This is for people that care about themselves. I don't even want to talk to you if you don't, personally. What's some good reasons to go get successful and rich? One, it's not to buy a house, not to get this, not to buy that, not to go on a vacation. No, I want to maximize my God-given potential. Because God blessed me with some gifts that I open every single day. And when I break down, and I don't have time to do it on this live, so go to the website and unlock access to the live where I coach on this stuff. And it's ulegend.com and it's pinned in the chat and it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But I want to maximize my potential because God has given me gifts. Things that I'm naturally good at, things that I naturally enjoy doing, that I could use to serve a large group of people. I call it the 4 pillars of purpose: enjoyment, expertise, empathy, exaltation. Those are the 4 pillars. You find those 4 things, combine them. That's what I teach over there. Find those 4 things, combine them. And you're going to find the purpose for your life and a great business idea that's going to make you a lot of money. And you're going to use those things to turn your purpose into profit. A lot of us, we find great business ideas that are great for other people. Or we miss one of those things. When I look at this Diddy situation, I see him missing the exaltation pillar. You didn't use the business to honor God, bro. And a little bit of the service pillar as well, the empathy pillar. You use the business and the money to serve yourself and not other people. And that's always going to end bad. Pharaoh was rich for a long time. And if you read the scriptures, why I keep bringing up scriptures, because the best wisdom in the world is in the Bible, especially for business. 2,350 verses. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. 2,350 verses in the Bible talk about money. 16 of the 38 parables Jesus Christ taught. His stories that he constantly taught, went everywhere teaching, 16 of them were about money and money and money alone. Money is important. Business is important. And that's why I look at these situations and I go, man, what a mismanagement of the blessings. This is how you let blessings become a curse. I see with Diddy, I see the exaltation pillar. If you guys know what I teach, I see that pillar missing. You ain't honoring God and you serving yourself and not serving people. You using the business to serve you. So the first reason I want to, start having success is to maximize my potential. The second reason is to redeem the time of my life. The scriptures say to redeem the time because the days are evil. Evil means challenging in that context, or difficult if you look up the original Hebrew meaning. Redeem the time of your life. I don't want to waste no time. I need to make as much money as possible so I can have time with my kids. So when people say to me, when my clients say to me, when I say, hey, what's the reason that why are you chasing success? What do you want? What is successful for you? Taking care of my family. Well, if you make more money, you're going to be able to take care of your family a lot better. Spending time with my kids. Well, if you make more money and your business does better, you're going to be able to spend more time with your kids. This is why it's important to care about that stuff, man. I want to take my wife on vacation. Well, you'll be able to take your wife on vacation 3-4 times a year if you make enough money. Like, redeeming the time of your life is a better reason than just wanting those things. Some of this stuff umbrellas and covers all the other stuff. And then the third reason is to work for enjoyment and enjoy the work that you do. I don't want to work just because I want to pay bills. I want to enjoy what I do. And that's what we teach over here, man. Go to From Stuck to Seven Figures. Check out the video. I teach you how to do it. I teach you every little step. We go through it step by step. And I really think that you guys will get a lot from just going over there and enjoying the live event. And it's no cost to you. It don't cost nothing. Just put your email address in. We'll send you a link to it. That's it. It's important to know these things. Those are better reasons to want to be successful and rich. Not to get astroglide and be able to sleep with any woman that I want, Diddy. Not to be able to have other men call me God among men. I would be offended if somebody said that about Will Evans. Genuinely. Because I'm not a God, dog. I'm not a God. Don't call me God. Don't reference me as God. None of that. There's only one. And my scripture says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. They may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven. That means that the things that I do in this life, the things that God has blessed me with, even the money, the blessings, whatever I do, it's only to glorify him. And y'all might see it like, dang, Will got a lot of money. Dang, Will got he wise, Will smart. But I'm always going to say it was only because God. Because in Deuteronomy chapter 8, that's what it tells me to do. Chapter 8, verse 17, 18. Remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to generate wealth. Even if the strength of my hands did the work, God gave me the hands. And sometimes we forget that when we have success. Diddy forgot that. You're not God, dog. And if nothing else is going to show you, God will. The scriptures say God will not be mocked. All these things are principles. Everything I'm saying to you guys are principles, automations that God put in place for people just like this. For all of us, though. And it's a situation where we don't look at it, and we got to look at it and learn from it. My grandmother said, walk on the graves of those that came before you. That means don't learn from your mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of the other people. So I hope that you guys learn something from this. I hope that you guys go over to our live event. No cost to you, private live event from Stuck to Seven Figures at ulegend.com, ulgnd.com. It's going to be pinned in the chat. It is pinned in the chat. And I hope that you guys really go out there and chase your success and go make something of yourself. It starts in the mind. And we walk you through the steps. Also, we launched our entrepreneur platform. If you're trying to master a business, if you're just getting started, or if you're in business, whatever problem you're having, go over there and check out You Legend Millionaires. It's the Netflix for entrepreneurs, which we created over there. And you can master business one video at a time. We got a bunch of videos in there. And we putting out new content, new videos over there, private content for entrepreneurs only every single week. And you can get in there, get access to that, and just go in there and literally type your problem in the search bar and find a solution for whatever you're having in business. If you having a problem getting customers, go in there and type how to get customers in the search bar. And you're going to find videos, a series of videos on how to get customers. If you have a problem making sales, how to make sales. If you have a problem getting started, how to get started. Go check it out. It's You Legend Millionaires at ulegend.com, Netflix for entrepreneurs. Go over there, search your problem, get a solution to your problem. And other than that, if you don't trust me, don't take my word for none of this. I literally dedicated my whole company to serving you guys and helping you guys. We got a bunch of them. We got a good amount of employees. And I spend a lot of money to make sure that we help you guys every single year. So I want to help you guys as much as possible. I don't have to. I've been rich for like 6 years, 7 years. And I already got my match, and my wife is a brilliant entrepreneur and a runway model. I live my dream. I've been around the world 3 times. If you follow me on Instagram and all that, you know. If you've been with me. And we got big clients, huge clients. So God has been good, but I want to be good to you guys with the things that God has blessed me. It was more of a ministry than it is a business. So I hope to see you guys over there. Go to the website. It's pinned in the chat. It'll be pinned in the comments. And until tomorrow's live stream, you guys stay blessed. Go out there, achieve everything that God has for you, because success is free. And why wouldn't you go attack it if it's free? Why wouldn't you go get what God has for you? Because God is the God of abundance, not the God of lack. And if you're stuck at any level in life, I don't care if you're stuck in a mental space where you just got to break free from this mental space so you can do what you have to do. That's what we do it for. That's what we do it for. Don't just look at these. Don't ever come to a Will Evans live stream and want to just be entertained. This ain't for you. This is for you to be educated as well, because I believe if I'm entertaining you only and educating you not, I'm distracting you. And I don't ever want to be a distraction. I want to be a help and of service. So God bless you guys, man. I'll see you guys on tomorrow's live stream. Make sure you subscribe. And until then, stay blessed, man.